nation! No donation, no salvation!
And remember, respect is everything.
And we're back. So, before you ask why the quality and sound may be a little different, I'm actually using a camera for once. So the current smartphone I was using for my videos as a camera was my old phone, but I pretty much completely wiped it and, you know, just reduced it to nothing more than a camera for my videos since I had upgraded to a newer phone, a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. So yeah, my old phone was a Samsung J7, which I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I upgraded to a Note 9 because I needed something newer and more efficient. Ignore the broken case, the actual phone is fine. It's in a nice metallic blue, but unfortunately, you kind of need to have these cases just so that you don't break the damn thing. But anyway, so yes, we are looking at my rebuilt Armada Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. We're going to push these two to the back since we've already looked at them before. And technically we've looked at this one before as well. But because I did a complete rebuild on him, I figured I should do this character a little more justice. So, yes, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I wanted to keep this version of Starscream in my story because, so for those who are new here, all my Transformers exist in their own fiction, which is something I've been working on for a while now. Ever since I started building these, you know, Transformers. So, here, let me take off the Star Saber, because, yes, I did include the Star Saber, but it has a different, I guess, source to it. So, yeah, here's the jet mode. It's fairly bulky, but if you're familiar with my style of Transformers, they're done in a very kind of anime aesthetic, so naturally they're going to be really bulky. I'm happy with how it turned out. These cannons actually are removable, so we should probably take those off too, because they will serve a purpose in the robot mode. So let's go ahead and get those off now. So yes, in my story, Starscream nearly dies, and then he gets rebuilt, or remade into the Armada Starscream. It's my own fiction, it's not connected to anything, it just has a lot of inspiration from numerous sources, so that's part of why some characters look the way they do, and some look nothing like their original counterparts, because technically in my story, none of my Seekers are the same style of jet. They're all their own jet, because, I don't know, I just wanted to try something different where all the Seekers are... They are jets, but they're all different types of jets. So I just thought it was a cool idea instead of just doing the typical recoloring of, you know, Seekers and whatnot. So let's not waste too much time. Let's take a good look at the other two first before we proceed any further. So here's Skywarp. Again, engineering-wise, they're more or less similar to their originals. I added a few extra touches, but they're basically just the original figures I built, but with some better parts and... oop, Norway fell off. Let's go ahead and get those off now, just so they're not in the way. So, yeah, as you can see, he's a completely different style of jet compared to Starscream and Thundercracker. I know the title says G1, but it's more G1 inspired rather than actually being based on G1, if you get what I mean. So, that's also why I include Mach in the title. Actually, let me see if I can get this null ray off. I don't know why I went Russian there for a second. But, and I'm sorry if I'm not getting all this in frame. I'm not used to working with a camera, so please forgive me. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get to the actual transformations. Okay, so we're going to start with the Armada version, because I did do a G1 Starscream. I have him right here. Here, we'll put him in the back for moral support, just because, why not? You know, kind of show where he came from in my story. So there's the G1 style Starscream. Before you ask why he's white, those wings, I wanted to use them, and I only have them in white, so that's why I made them white. I mean, he should be gray, but... So, let's get to the transformation. You want to fold this forward. It's a bit of a tight fit, but it does go through. So, fold the legs forward. They're on a little hinge joint. So, there's a hinge right here. You fold the whole assembly forward. Next, you want to fold the arms down so that they're in the proper position. He actually... I tried to color correct him as best as I could to match his Armada version. Just because I did have the, what's it called? The Legacy version, which is kind of what I used for a frame of reference on this one. Then you accordion this whole mess of stuff. And then there's a little tab here, just goes right in the middle there. If I can just get that in without too much trouble. There we go. So, yeah, I did do the wings from scratch on this one just because I wanted them to look good. So I did end up using a lot of gray for the wings. So that's another reason I couldn't make my other Starscream gray, because I used a lot of the gray on this one. Alright, go ahead and gotta have to lift the head. So the head is actually on this little joint here, so you kind of have to lift it up to kind of get it to rotate it around this whole mess of hinges. I might even just take off that circular piece in the back, but I'll just leave it for now since it doesn't hinder transformation too much. And he's more or less done. Let's go ahead and give him his Star Saber. So the Star Saber in my story, it's something that only Starscream gets when he gets turned into this form. It's not quite the same Star Saber from the Unicron trilogy, since this is kind of my own story. So the rules are pretty much whatever I make them. So it's not like this big mythical weapon or whatever. It's just something that he acquires during his, I guess you'd call his, rebirth. You know, Megatron becoming Galvatron. It's Starscream coming back from the dead instead, or near death. So a bit of role reversal. I also decided to redo Skywarp and Thundercracker as well, just because, since these are very prominent characters in my story, since they're always by Starscream's side, I figured they deserve decent figures to represent them. That shoulder is really loose, so please forgive me if it flops around a bit. Alright, go ahead and fold the arm forward. Fold the wrist forward. Let's give him his null raise, just so that that's out of the way. I like to plug him in like that, because it provides the most clearance for his wings. And his fist. Go ahead and fold them down. So yeah, if you couldn't tell already, my Transformers are done in a very anime aesthetic, which is why they have the bigger heads. So there is a little bit of cheating, especially with the car bots. But at least with these ones, I was able to sort of use the actual cockpit as the chest. So we'll go ahead and give him his other null ray. Before you ask what's going on with all this clear, I guess, cyan or blue, it's like a baby blue. I was kind of going for a War for Cybertron, or a Fall of Cybertron kind of look, so that's what I was trying to accomplish there with that. Let's hold his wings back a little bit. So yeah, Skywarp in my story, he's pretty much the cool guy, the loner that's just kind of sitting in the back with Thundercracker, so he's always like really quiet. He's definitely the more agile fighter, while Thundercracker in my story is more just brute force and muscle. And he's also my favorite Seeker because I like his color scheme the best, so that's part of the reason I gave him the bruiser body type, since, I don't know, I just think bruiser characters are kind of cool, you know? But, he is level-headed to a degree, so, like, they're not complete, you know, idiots, I guess. He's a bruiser with a brain, if that makes sense. So I go ahead and fold the arm. The arms are, transformation-wise, they're identical, but structurally they're different in terms of cosmetics, just because that's how I wanted to do it. So go ahead and fold the legs down. Rotate the head forward. And then, yeah, as you can see, he has a much broader chest. He's a lot beefier in certain areas. He's not as skinny. So, let's see, which null ray goes on this arm. Okay, so yeah, the null rays also mount differently. So instead of on the side, they go on the back, just to kind of differentiate them. That's why I make all my Seekers different, if you've seen my past builds and videos. Also, if the eyes are hard to see, it's because I use clear. I'm thinking about going back and replacing a bunch of my figures with color eyes instead of the clear, just because it translates a lot better on video than it does
Wasted!
One thing about Starscream, my story though, so he is still very much like the traitor and, you know, con artist we all love and enjoy since G1 or Prime or whatever you grew up with. He does things very differently. Rather than just directly attacking Megatron, he just sabotages everyone else to kind of secure his position in the Decepticons, just so that he can kind of move up the ranks by screwing over others. So he's a traitor, but he's a different kind of traitor. He's more a traitor to everyone else, well, except Skywarp and Thundercracker. Anyone else that he doesn't really care for, he'll gladly screw them over. And it's pretty hilarious, the turns the story takes at times because of his inability to coexist with his other comrades, if you want to call them that. Even though Decepticons have proven numerous times they don't really care about each other at all. He is supposed to have the shoulder cannons like the toy, but obviously it would have been a lot more difficult to do that. So what I did is I just I made these little I made the cannons removable, and I probably should have extended them a bit, because when he does have the cannons on, you can't really turn his head, but I mean, he's pretty much pointing them forward anyway, so I don't know why he would anyway. I hope the quality isn't too bad. I hope this camera did the job well, and I will see you all in the next one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!